Hello, welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is the show where we talk to independent artists from all around the world, all about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Isaac Anderson, and today I got to sit down with Edwin from the Hengles. Without any further ado, here's the interview. Well, Edwin, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I think before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the interview, I wanted to start at the beginning of kind of your musical journey. And my question to you is, what is your first musical memory?
My first musical memory. It must be well, of course I've heard music before that, but it must have been when I was about 8-9 years old that my brother brought a single at home, and that really got me excited, and that was "Help" by the Beatles. The single. I'm an old guy, so we have to go back to 1972 for this. But at that stage, because "Help" is a single from 1965, so my friends, they didn't understand it because it was old music, it was glam rock at the time and not Beatles. But Beatles is really my first love with music.
Heard that. And it's so weird that people would say, oh, the Beatles are old music. We don't want to listen to the Beatles. Like, they're the Beatles. That was so different from now. Like, they're even older now, but yet people are like, young people are clamoring, they wear the shirt and they haven't even heard their music. So, I mean, it's kind of turned around like that. So, I guess now I kind of wanted to ask you, how exactly did you get started playing music?
Well, I come from a musical background. My mother plays piano, and my grandfather, her father, had an orchestra in the 30s and the 40s and 50s. And I was always interested in music, and at that stage, we didn't have internet and we didn't have games and all that. So, or you were thinking about becoming a professional soccer player, or you thought about becoming a musician. And I chose the last one because I couldn't play very well. I wasn't a good soccer player. So I started making music about when I was, I guess, 14, 15. Then a friend of mine, he was also interested in music, and he bought a bass, guitar, and we said, well, we're going to form a band, and I bought a guitar later on, and that's how it all started. It was what did Eddie Vedder say? Pete Townsend saved my life. Well, making music saved my life. It saved me from going crazy. It's just my passion.
Was there like a moment that you kind of knew that music was what you wanted to pursue in your life, like where it wasn't just going to be like a hobby, where it was going to be like I want to play music?
No, yeah. Well, it was about when I was 15 years old. Something. It was I saw a band. And at the time, one band was really favorite of us. We really liked, and it was a band called the Jam with Paul Weller, and they were kind of retro 60s mods band. So they were walking in 60s clothing and all that. And there was a band in my hometown, they called the Pilots, and they were playing somewhere in a neighborhood. And I went there, and when I saw them, I said to myself, I'm going to be like them. I want to be on stage, And it was really strange place because the place was packed with motorbikers, and bikers don't like mods. So, and all these guys were in my school, so I knew them. And they really hated the band, but I was really, wow, this is my scene. And they were saying constantly, "Oh, Edwin, what a what a lousy band, and we hate them and all that. I said, no, 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 man, I like them. I dig them. I want to be like them. Okay, we're still friends to that, but that was and that's when I said to my friend, okay, you bought a bass guitar, I'm gonna buy a guitar, and we are going to form a band. We're going to make music.
Kind of hopping on your location right now. I believe you're in Amsterdam, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and everybody in the band, I mean, the other guys are not present in the interview right now, but you guys have all been playing in Dutch pop bands for quite a long time, like all throughout your musical careers. What was it like forming the Hengles? Like, how did that happen? Was it like you saying we got to go do something? Like, I know you guys started as a cover band, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But how exactly did you guys just get together?
Well, I know the drummer Paul. We played in a band together in the 90s, and there was a scene going on in a place in Amsterdam where there was a youth hostel. It's called the Sleep Inn, and they had also practice rooms where you can rehearsal rooms, and we just hang out. Maarten, the bass player, he played in a band at that time. They were very popular at the time. They were called the Eternal Spankers, and they played surf music. That's where we met. We just wanted to, the Hengles used to be a 4-piece band. We now 3-piece band, but we used to be a 4-piece band, and we were just old guys, and we want to play music, and we wanted to play music without egos, So that's why we started playing covers, because then there is no ego thing, You don't want to play Hey Jude, okay, fine by me, It's not my song. You want to play that song, great, That's different when you write your own stuff, Hey, you don't want to play my song. Hey, I'm sorry. All that ego stuff. So, and we just wanted to play. We wanted to play songs of the Birds and we Big Star and all that, all that jingle jangle power pop kind of stuff. And it was actually quite a relief to play covers, because I never did that. I always wrote my own music, and now I had to listen to all that stuff, and I had to, and I actually learned from it. It made me a better composer, because I listened very close to these compositions. And some songs were really crazy, It's always in beats, It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, and all that. And sometimes it was just crazy, and it was a whole adventure. So that was cool to do, and we had a lot of fun, and we played live together, and that's fine, So it was actually just for fun, and that grew into something more, and as things happens.
Heard that.
There was no plan behind it.
When you guys played the early shows with the covers, do you feel like you make music differently now? Like, I know it's original music, but do you guys approach playing in a different way than when you got together and rehearsed for the cover shows and everything? Does that make sense?
I got fed up with these shows. I'm a songwriter, and once you get started recording, then you are fine tuning the song, and when it's finished, then you have to downstrip it again live. That was really something that is what I find hard to do. So after a while, like a living thing, we recorded it, and we had a nice version of it, and then we had to play it live again, and then we just stuck with two guitars, a bass, and drums. It wasn't what I didn't feel comfortable anymore. So after a while, I was talking with an old friend of mine, with whom I started making music in the early '80s, and we had several side projects, and then we said, well, let's try it one more time, and then we do your songs and we do my songs, and then we did one song. The song we did that I wrote was called Wintertime, and Wintertime is the first single of the Hengles. And but it didn't work out between him and me anymore, so we called it quits. But I had asked Paul to drum it, to play the drums on it, and I asked Martin to mix it because he has a studio. And then I said to him, to them, I have a new version of this song, Wintertime, because it's an old song of mine, and I think it's so good. I want to go along with it. Are you in? Not just play the drums and mix it for me, but let's do it as a band. And they said, yeah, okay, cool. And then I went. And I went along with it, and I sent it to the label, our label, and they were very. They said, "Wow, this is cool. We want to do it." And then, then all things happened like that. So the Wintertime became our first single, and the rest is history.
I do want to hop on. You guys have been playing music for quite some time now, but do you feel like the current climate of music, like with the internet, streaming, YouTube, websites, like all this kind of thing, like how exactly do you think this compares to earlier years of music, especially the ones that you kind of harken back to with kind of like the '60s, kind of the purest, kind of like peace, love, and music kind of thing?
It's easier now to do your stuff yourself, because back in the days when you wanted to record a demo, you had to go to a studio, and that was really expensive. So you spent 2 days in the studio, and it costed around. We had guilders at the time. It was about 1,000 guilders. Well, 1,000 guilders in 1983 was really a lot of money. And you got your tape, and your tape sounded awful, So, and nowadays you have this all these stuff, and it's so cool, it's so easy. But the other difference is, I don't know how it is in America, but in Holland you have all kind of rock academies. You can literally study pop music. You go to a school, and they learn you how to make your songs, how to produce it, how to do it commercially, and all that. We didn't have that. We just did it all ourselves, and I personally like it that way. But I think it's good that young people can do it like that. You can hear it. They are better musicians than we were at the time. They sound better. But the downside of it is, because it's also commercially, it's all about money and all that. In my time when I was 20, there were loads of clubs in Amsterdam. You could play every night. You didn't earn anything, but that didn't matter. You could play, and that's different today. There are two main clubs in Amsterdam. That's Paradiso and that's the Melkweg. And you don't, as a normal small band, you can't play there because it's too big. They don't want you to play there. So yeah, well, that's different.
Hopping back onto the songwriting train, I know earlier you said you are a natural songwriter. What is your songwriting process like? Do you guys tend to get together and write music collaboratively, or do you each like write songs individually and bring them to the table?
Now, I'm the one who writes the songs. I'm the songwriter. Uh, like I said, I can do a lot of stuff at home. So I give the band my demo, and that's got everything on it. The vocals, the everything is on there, and they take it from there. And Paul is drumming. He's drumming his parts in the studio. Martin is playing the bass, and then we go. Make it. We finish it in the studio. I record a loads of tracks, and loads of tracks are also being thrown away, and new things are happening in the studio. They are not songwriters. I'm the songwriter, and but we share the credits because it's not the song, it's not only the song, it's also the recording that makes a track a good song. The if yeah, the recording is so important to it can make or break your song. So we share the credits.
Heard that.
So okay, I'm the songwriter, but we say written by the Hengles,
Yeah.
because I think that's fair.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a really good relationship where nobody's gonna get upset like that like that you write the songs, but like yet like, you guys share all the credit. I don't think there would be any hostility between you guys. I feel like you guys have a really good dichotomy going on, and I feel like you can definitely feel that you guys are comfortable with each other in that sense.
Yeah.
So now I want to hop on your single, your latest single, which is called "You." This one's got a great pop flair. I love the synth beginning, by the way. Like the I like that. That's like that. I love that. But it's got these like really beautiful harmonies. All your songs have those beautiful harmonies and kind of these '60s jangle overtones on them, and it's just really it's just really pretty. There's no other way to say it. It's really pretty. What was the process of recording and creating that song? And maybe since you wrote it, can you tell us what that song's about?
Well, it's a friend of mine. He is writing a script for a film, and I normally don't write songs about relationships. I don't know why, but I can't write that. But he told me the script, and I said, so, okay, I'm going to write a theme song for your film, and so the theme of the song, well, it's a boy and a girl, and it's a relationship that of people that can't live together, but they also can't be a part of each other. It's as simple as that. It's not a it's a relationship that it's a stormy relationship. That's what it's all about.
Heard that. Well, it's definitely available now to stream. You can listen to it online. If people want to just keep up with the Hengles, or like what you guys are doing and where you want to listen to the music, how can people find you on social media and streaming?
Well, we are on Spotify. We have our Facebook page. We're on Instagram. We've got our own website. We are on Apple Music. We are on all these digital stores. That's the advantage of having a label, because they do all these stuff. they send out our music to guys like you know, and luckily you pick it up and you play our songs. It's unbelievable that our songs are being played in North Carolina. Hey
It's super
man,
cool. I'm
that's
super happy about that. That's going back to the modern day. You know, a lot of that
yeah,
kind of stuff wouldn't have been feasible. As feasible. 30 years ago, even with the internet like it is now. I talked to a lot of bands over there and Amsterdam and just all over the world. It's really really cool.
yeah.
By the way, Amsterdam seems like it's a pretty cool place from what I've heard from all the artists that I've talked to over there. So I guess I want to say thank you first off for joining us again. We really do appreciate it. Before we go, I ask all my guests before we end. I'm a big movie buff. I'm a musician also, but I love film. I actually do a show at the studio that plays all the music for the radio station. We have a show that's all dedicated to movies that I host. And before we go, I want to
Yeah.
ask you, what is your favorite movie?
I thought about it because okay, and there was one title that came up, and that's Boyhood.
Okay, the Richard Linklater film.
Yeah, about the guy growing up. You know, it's also got a song. I forgot the name of the band, but each time when I hear this song, I get tears in my eyes.
Thanks to Edwin for sitting down with me and talking all about the Hengles music. If you guys want to see more interviews just like this, you can go to facebook.com/Studio67NCC, youtube.com/NashComCollege, or you can find us on Instagram at Studio67NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson, and until next time, stay lovely.